What an intro. So, it's already mid-January. Hope everybody's New Year's resolutions are going better than mine. My New Year's resolution was to stay positive and to block out negativity and just try and be more positive overall in general. Everybody would agree that being positive is much better than being negative, but being negative did give us one of my favorite genres of music, which is blues, right? Like, what genres of music did being positive ever give us? Like disco and ABBA, whatever. But I just feel like I don't blame those old blues guys for being quote unquote negative. I just think they actually had stuff back then to be blue about. You know what I mean? Like you've heard all the old songs, and it's always something like, "Oh, my daddy was hit by a train while he was carrying my dog, and my mom gave birth to 10 kids in one summer." Anyway, I just don't think the blues genre could be created today, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, today life's complicated, but it's really not that hard, you know what I mean? Like, for some people in America, a real hardship is like, "Oh man, Instagram suspended my account because I posted a picture with my nuts hanging out saying that I was sitting in gum, and I probably would have gotten away with it if I hadn't hashtagged it balling out." But so anyway, I'm trying to stay more positive, and that's pretty hard to do when you turn on the TV or the news nowadays. Like, for example, I turned on the TV, and the first thing was this guy, and he was talking about, well, the first thing he said basically was, we have all these issues in Iran and North Korea, but what we really need to get back to focusing on is building this wall so we can deport all the Mexicans. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's still people talking about this? Like, can you imagine what this country would actually be like if all the Mexicans just left one day? For starters, there'd be like 3 things for sale at the grocery store when you went there. Like, you'd show up like, "Hey, you got any lettuce or tomatoes? Like, I'm trying to make a sandwich, I'm not seeing anything." The guy'd be like, "Oh yeah, no man, we just got like Pop-Tarts and bagel bites now. Like, maybe some Capri Suns if you're lucky, but you're out of luck, basically." And I just don't understand the hatred towards Mexican people. For one, they're like extremely hardworking. They have great family values, and they also have a rich cultural history of human sacrifice that I feel like they're really just now starting to really, develop and get good at. But anyway, so that was just too negative for me. Again, I'm trying to stay positive, so I said, change the channel. What do we got next? There was another news show, and this time we had an anti-vaxxer lady on there. I was like, oh great, she's spilling all of her advanced medical knowledge she learned on YouTube. And basically, she's telling us how the vaccines, the government's using them to control our minds and give our children autism. So again, I'm trying to think positively. I'm like, well, on the bright side, if she stops vaccinating her children herself, at least they'll prevent her from procreating. But on the downside is if all the anti-vaxxers die out, then the essential oils market might totally collapse, and that would be pretty bad. So anyway, I changed the channel that too. I was like, it's still too negative. So this time it was local news. And they had this whole group of people all up in arms. It was from La Pine, actually, our colorful friends down in La Pine. They were all upset because some local business had been robbed. And again, that was kind of too negative for me, so I didn't get the full details of the story, but let's just say I hadn't seen people in La Pine this upset since they made Sudafed a behind-the-counter drug. So I changed the channel. I said, enough with the news. What else have we got? So it was the History Channel. I'm like, I like history. What's going on here? And, it was a documentary on the history of LSD. And I'm like, okay, you got my attention. I'm a fan. I've been known to partake. And it was some science nerd who probably never has taken acid in his life, and he's just saying all the bad things about acid. He's like, well, for one, it can trigger your schizophrenia. And I'm like, that's not true. And the voice in my head was like, yes, it is. And I was like, shut up, who asked you anyway? But next, he said, well, it can also give you acid flashbacks. Like, that's a bad thing. I was like, dude, for one, that sounds awesome. Like, where do I sign up for an acid flashback? I've never had an acid flashback, but I have had a Xanax flash forward before, and that's way scarier to me. You know what I mean? Like, I was envisioning an acid flashback being like, oh man, I'm starting to feel funny. Like, dude, you remember that Fish concert we went to last summer? That was awesome. Whereas a Xanax flash forward is a lot more jarring. It's like waking up from a nightmare where you're just like, oh, where am I? How the fuck did I get in an Imagine Dragons concert? Well, I need to analyze my life decisions. But anyway, so I'll end it with this. I finally said, okay, that's too negative too. Last chance. Put on ESPN, right? They had a story about David Stern, the former NBA commissioner, how he had just died. And I was like, oh my gosh, like another negative story. But then, to my surprise, they had these former and current NBA players talking about all the nice things with David Stern, and it became kind of nice. And one of them really resonated with me. It was Magic Johnson telling a nice story about how David Stern took him under his wing and really helped him out. And as I'm sitting there looking at Magic Johnson, I'm reminded of my New Year's resolution. So just like Magic Johnson, always stay positive. Okay, so that's my message.
Oh.